This is John.
Things going on one street over from where you living. That's our goal today. I am U-Turn LaVern, and again, this is 1100 WSGI. I can't remember if I said that or not. Thursday morning, my friend Tracy Dever is in the house. We just discussed how I'm saying her name wrong. She's just Tracy to me because I met you through my friend Muriel Barnett.
Yep.
And so I just, it's always been just Tracy. And she was telling me last night, she says, Tracy's coming in the morning. I'm like, oh, that's right. And so I'm just so excited to talk to you. I want you to pull that microphone to you. I should have done that before we turned on the microphones. But she is here because you have a cool new business that you had your ribbon cutting on last week.
Yes.
And it is a retreat, and your main, and this, the only reason that I know about this stuff is because of my dear friend Mary Rainey, and Mary Rainey, prayers for quick healing. She had some surgery yesterday. She has some like arthritis, and they had to work on her hands, so she can't sew for like 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And do scrapbooking for like 3 months. That's going to be just like
Yeah.
But anyway, she's doing great. Paul Rainey's on here this morning. You take care of her, Paul. Love them. They go to Mexico with me. They're just dear, dear friends. They're part of my family. And so Fast Healing Mary, you'll be able to sew again soon, but she's a scrapbooker.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes on these retreats. And I've told her about you guys. Muriel's told her about you guys and say, hey, there's a local one now, because I think they do some traveling to get to where they're going. And it's like, this is in their back door.
That's right.
But it's not just scrapbooking. It's a retreat for families, and it's the neatest little place. And when Muriel told me you were doing this, I thought, oh, that's so cool. But you've put a lot of work into it. So unpack it for me.
Okay.
What's the name of it, and where is it located? So kind of just unpack all the particulars for everybody.
Okay. So the name is Robco Retreat for Robertson County. I've had a lot of people come and visit, and they're like, how'd you come up with that name? I'm like, well, it's Robertson County. And some people are like, oh,
Well, we've got all the hats that say Robco, so I think it's brilliant.
Yes.
I think it's perfect.
Yes.
And it's Robertson County, so
that's right.
I love it.
It's Robco Retreat, and it is located on Oregon Road in Springfield. And Oregon Road is off of either Owens Chapel or off of Woodrow Wilson, depending on which way you're coming. Right. Kind of very near Cross Plains, between Cross Plains and Springfield, in that area. Yeah,
beautiful up there.
It is. It's in a very wooded lot. When you're on Oregon Road, most of the plots are totally cleared off, farmland or houses with some trees in the background. But then you get to this area and there's just trees everywhere. And if you look at it kind of from an aerial view, we've done a lot of that. You can see it just looks like this forest almost plopped down in the middle of where, all this farmland is. And so all these trees are grown up all around it. So when you pull in, it just feels kind of like you're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. You're back in the woods. Yeah. A lot of people have equated it to feeling like they're driving up into Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg, like when they first pull in, the way that the buildings look, and that sort of thing. So it's just kind of a nice little hidden gem in Robertson County. So
I love it. Well, how did you find this place?
So, like you said, I've been a scrapbooker for 27 years now. And for about 24 of those years, I have been taking friends and customers of mine that scrapbook on retreats. And so we used to go, in the beginning we went once a year, then we started going twice a year. So really 2 times a year I would take a group of ladies on a retreat to scrapbook. And my husband and I have kind of been looking for a place to do this over the past year and a half to 2 years. He's been looking really hard. He had been on the real estate sites and all that for that long, and getting calls and making calls and working at it a little bit harder probably than I realized he was, trying to find a place. And the main one of the main reasons was because the place I was taking my ladies in the summer in Bell Buckle. This lady and many of the smaller retreat centers are booked out like a year in advance. Like, you cannot get into those places unless you get on a wait list and wait for somebody like me to drop off the list, because now I've dropped out of my spot there, so somebody else will get to go. But they're very booked out. And so we just kind of thought it'd be a neat thing to bring something like that to Robertson County. So this place that we bought was the old Killebrew place on Oregon Road. And we bought it at auction in April, and then we closed in May. and we began working all through the summer and fall, and got it ready for January, and
I love it.
had my first event in January. So yes, I'm having scrapbook retreats or craft retreats once a month. So every month I have a weekend booked for myself to have a retreat where people can come and scrapbook or any kind of craft that they would like to do. And then the other 3 to 4 weekends we're wanting to book out, with other folks. Now, those other folks, they may want to come to our county to do the same type of thing. It may be ladies that are wanting to come and do a quilt retreat, or they're wanting to do some other kind of stamping retreat or card making, or, all those types of things. But we also are trying to appeal to people that maybe are looking for a place to have a family reunion.
Oh, yeah. I think it's perfect for that. When you mentioned
yeah.
that, I was like, oh, yeah.
Or women's Bible studies.
Yeah.
Or maybe even a yoga retreat or a wellness retreat or somewhere.
Spiritual retreat would be a great idea. Yeah.
Absolutely. Faculty or staff retreats for a small business. So we've got lots of opportunity to host people, and we also would host during the week. It's not just weekends, but typically weekends are more popular to have those type of events. But yes, during the week as well.
Well, sometimes a small business might want to do a retreat during the week, even, or something like that during a slow period. Now, what is your capacity? How many can you sleep?
Right. Okay. So we have 2 buildings, and we have only renovated the first one.
Okay.
And if you go on our Facebook page or on our website, the building that's renovated and up and running for business, it's kind of a charred gray color, almost black looking in the pictures. And we call that building the Lodge. And so on the first floor of the Lodge, there's event space, and it's a little over 1,000 square feet. And that's where, if you were coming to do a program of some sort, that's your gathering space, your event space, your common space. And we have all the tables and chairs that you would need there. And then the building on the first floor also has a bedroom on the first floor and bathroom. And then there's a half bath in the event space. And then upstairs, there are 4 more bedrooms. So right now, our sleeping capacity is 14. All of the bedrooms have twin XLs in them, and then a regular twin. And so we did that very purposefully so that, like, the twin XLs can be put together. That's the 2 beds you put together to make a king.
Sure.
So the bedrooms can be configured as a king and a twin. So if we have families come in, or maybe someone wants to have a marriage retreat or some kind of couples retreat where they might want a king size bed instead of 3 twins, in a room, then we can reconfigure that for them. So we're sleeping 14 in that building. And then my husband's got to have a procedure done, and it's going to have some recovery time in about 2 weeks. So he's going to be out of commission as far as being able to work on it in all of his nooks and crannies of time. And so we're hoping that around May, he'll be up and ready to start demoing and constructing again, and we will begin to work on the other building. If you look at the website,
I'm looking at it right now. So is this the Lodge right here?
Yes.
And then you've got this beautiful cabin.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I hadn't seen this picture.
And the Lodge on the
beautiful.
website, I think, looks kind of, it doesn't look black on that particular picture.
Right.
Like it hadn't been stained yet in that picture. And then the cabin, yes, the other building is a cabin. And so both of those buildings have been pressure washed and stained and updated.
That cabin's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, so the cabin was the dwelling of Mr. Killebrew and his wife. And daughter. And so that building, it looks really big from the outside, and it has a porch that wraps all the way around. But in actuality, it really just has like a kitchen, dining space, and it has 1 bedroom and a very, very large bathroom. So we are going to demo and renovate that to have 2 bedrooms. And 2 baths. So, and then the upstairs of it is a loft area. And there's not going to be a bathroom up there, but there'll be an extra bathroom at the base of the steps. So that if
like a half bath kind of thing.
No, it'll be a full bath. So that if a church group wanted to bring their youth or something, and maybe they got a lot of kids they want to pile in up in that loft space with air mattresses or something of that nature, then they would have their own bathroom with shower and everything at the base of the steps. So, I
love that cabin.
We'll be able to, thank you so much. We'll be able to sleep an additional 6 to 8, depending on how the room configuration works out when he does the remodeling in those 2 bedrooms and bathrooms. And then the upstairs space would just be overflow. Like I said, people our age probably wouldn't want to stay upstairs, but Kids. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if you had a youth group come in, you could the upstairs is really large and could hold lots of
Yeah, lots
bed
of
space.
kiddos.
Yeah, lots of kiddos. So.
Well, that's great. I love it. I love it. And have you? I mean, is this pretty comparable to like the places where you go for scrapbook retreats, as far as the size wise and stuff?
Yes, I mean we'd probably call ourselves kind of a mid-size venue. A lot of places that people go have a maximum of 7 or 8. The place,
oh, really? Okay.
yeah. And they're kind of more set up maybe like a home. Someone's just kind of converted. It's a home. They're renting out, and they've maybe put up tables in a living room area of their home for people to be able to craft or whatever. Ours right now sleeps 14, but we'll sleep 20 to 22 depending on how things work out as far as adults go.
Yeah.
And then the larger venues are really places that are more like camps. They can accommodate a lot more people if it's like a church camp type place, or maybe even, I know that there are some places that are kind of oriented toward weddings and things like that, but they have cabins on site, and their event space might be really large, and they might be able to hold, 50 to 100 people. So,
but that's like you said, this is a good mid-size, and this is one thing we considered becoming a venue, and we're not going to, but we had thought about it, like a wedding venue. And one of the things that I'm wanting to say, Jordan Osborne mentioned to me, she goes, we need more mid-size things. We need more things that, so she was encouraging, saying, because I was like, well, I see all these beautiful venues that have been built for weddings, and I was like, I just don't know if I want to get in the mix. And she says, well, but if you built something that was a smaller type venue, she says there's a need for that. And so that mid-size range, there's not enough of that. It's either too small or too big. And so I think this is perfect. And I mean, you could do a wedding out there and house people. I mean, you could.
You could. We are not really throwing our hat into the wedding arena.
Yeah,
That's not the business
it's
plan.
A lot.
Right now.
It's a lot. Yeah. I don't do wedding photography. I took pictures for a friend of mine, and I wouldn't let her pay me because I'm like, I'm not a wedding photographer. I don't want that pressure. And I do photography, but I just weddings. I don't want to. That's a big deal, man. I don't want to be responsible for that. So, but I get that. Yeah.
It would be a perfect place for someone that was having a wedding, though, to like house out of town guests, part of the wedding party, or family, extended family, because we offer this ability to have these 5 bedrooms, and bathrooms configured how you need them for your families that are coming in. And then there's this common space that, this event space, but it's perfect to pull up chairs and tables and watch some TV or play games. If you've got a family coming to stay together, to come to a family picnic or reunion or a wedding, or maybe there's a graduation, a high school graduation, you've got out of town guests coming in, and you want them to be in a more cozy atmosphere and be around each other, in nature rather than, stuck in different rooms maybe, or you had to rent different Airbnbs or Verbos across town because you couldn't fit everybody in one place. So,
well, it's so interesting that you mentioned that, because we started a tradition this past year where we have we do Thanksgiving on Black Friday at my house, and we have a big dinner and all that at my house. But the encouragement is just, we're wanting to get people coming in from out of town. This is a place I could put them up. Yeah. And say, hey, because it's here in Springfield. I'm sure it's probably about, from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's going to be about 15 minutes from my house. And so that's, very doable if we needed some extended stays or something.
Yes.
I had one of my sweet cousins was needing to stay with me the last time, and I was like, I just can't do it, Thea. I called you out, Thea. I'm sorry, darling. But it would be nice if we had a place, because one of her brothers is from Arkansas, and I've got family down in Alabama and different ones. And if we had a place like that we could say, okay, y'all can all get together and stay there and make a weekend of it. And that's the goal, because it's all family reunion driven. And, worst case scenario, if it was too cold to have our event in the barn, because it really was this past year, then we'd have a space to do that.
Right,
so I love it. I love it, Tracy. This is cool. So it's Robco Retreat. Robco Retreat. It's now open. Now you go back to the what you were talking about with the scrapbooking. I know that, and again, I know some of this because of my sweet friend Mary Rainey, and she's such a scrapbooker. But there are, they're like, it's like companies that cater to people who scrapbook, and you sell a particular type of,
Yes.
because she asked me,
Yeah.
she goes, which company does she work with?
Yes.
So can you explain that part of it?
So I am a creative memories advisor.
There you go.
So I can teach people, how to preserve their photographs, and then we also have some card making for people, that may want to do that in addition to working on their family photos and preserving those. And in the location, in that event space, I have an area where I will have a little store set up.
Okay.
But when people come in, if they're looking at the pictures, there's like shelving and stuff in that event space, that conference space, and all of my stuff will be put away unless I'm having an event. And then if someone else, like I do already have 3 people that have booked their own events. Not until April. I think again it's just a timing thing where they have to have time to plan it, and we weren't open yet, and they couldn't see it, that kind of thing. And so when I have other people coming in and doing events, I offer, if you would like for me to come in and open up my store for a couple of hours so people can purchase supplies, or if you want me to teach a technique or something, I'll be happy to do that. But that is definitely not something that I have to do. I would not be on site. When people come and rent the place, of course I would come and meet them and help them get started. But we don't live on site. We live about 5 miles away, which is awesome that we're that close.
That's great. It's that convenient. Yeah.
And I really think this was just, my husband has said too, it's all been a God thing. Him being able to do this basically on his own in this amount of time, plus keep his business. He runs his own business, keep that going, and us to be able to find the place that close to our house.
That's cool.
And do the construction and be able to make all of that happen in a very short amount of time. It's really been a blessing. We're close by. If something happens or someone needs us, that kind of thing, we're not too far, but we do not live on the property. It's about 14 acres, and my son, I think his eyes did kind of, he's getting his master's right now, and I think he was kind of like, "Ooh, wow, that's a lot of land. I could drop me a little container house."
Yeah. He's like,
he's a young person,
Yeah.
Thinking about options and things like that. I'm like, yeah, you could.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got a lot of space and a lot of room
That's wonderful.
to build on and develop amenities outdoors. Want to do some walking trails. There's a little pond and creek on the back of the property, and
how fun,
want
Tracy.
to have some walking trails and some youth type oriented games. We may potentially do like a low ropes course or something at some point. But we've got it came with a horseshoe. What do you call it? Horseshoe arena? Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
The property came with that.
Yeah. I love it.
And David, of course, wants to do a fire pit and some other things like that. So all those things are kind of in the works, and it's really just what's the next big priority, to work on the grounds or to get that other dwelling,
get the
cabin ready to go. So the cabin has been done, the outside of it, pressure wash stained, all that.
It
but
looks
the
beautiful.
inside has not, other than a good cleaning,
Yeah.
it's not, we've not worked on it at all. So
So, but I'm excited for you. And my friend Paul saying that Mary and Judy is her friend that does scrapping. They've been up to visit you.
Yes, they came.
So you've met them.
I
Okay.
met Mary, yes, they came. We've had a lot going on. We had our, I had like kind of a soft open house for my Creative Memories clients.
Right.
Back at the very end of December, they were the first ones to see it, and then since then we had a ribbon cutting, and then I had a public open house this last weekend, and then this Monday night, I'm hosting the Women in Business group. Affiliated with the chamber. They're coming out to eat and to make some cards, some Valentine cards. And so we've had a lot of community things going on and trying to get people out there to see it so that they understand what we have to offer. And hopefully, all of this too, we hope to bless the community with, extra people coming in to tour and to maybe antique shop and, visit Thomas Drugs and some of those places that are nearby that are small businesses, help out with some of that.
I love it. Are you on this side of Cross Plains or the other side of Cross Plains?
So it's really kind of, Cross Plains is the closest to the property. It takes about 5 minutes because I went straight from the property to Thomas Drugs yesterday
Just
and
to kind
popped
of
in.
see, yeah.
Yeah, and it took like 5 minutes. But Springfield, as far as getting into where there would be some restaurants and things like that, more like maybe 8 or 9 minutes.
Okay.
And also really close to White House. Same.
Okay.
You kind of
Oh,
go
yeah.
off on Cross
True.
Plains Road, about the
Yeah.
same distance to White House. So when
Okay.
people come, they'll have options of going a lot of different
Sure.
places.
And I'm asking because I'm, again, in my mind, I'm going, this would be a really good option for my out of town family. It truly would be, because that's one of the goal is for our family reunion in November, for Thanksgiving to happen at our house, but for people to stick around and maybe make a weekend of it.
Yeah.
And so, oh my gosh, that would be a great option.
Yeah.
It'd be a great option, but
Sure.
I love it. Tracy Dever is with me. This is the Robco Retreat. It is open and ready for business. So scrapbooking, women's retreat, men's retreat, youth retreat, family reunions. This is your place. Right now you can house 14,
14.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you've got some that want to spend the night, maybe that, I was thinking if you did a spiritual retreat, maybe some want to spend the night, some don't.
They're close by, they may
Yeah,
not. Yeah.
exactly. So I think it's just a great option, and then eventually you'll be able to house 22.
That's what we're
That's
shooting for. Yeah,
the goal.
between 20 and 22. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to ask you, and this is off the subject. You mentioned your husband's business. Plug it.
Yes.
Plug your husband's business while you're here.
So he is he's a mechanical engineer.
Oh,
and
cool.
Yeah, and he has his own business. It's at the old skating rink location. His parents own that.
Oh, really?
And so yeah, they used to operate the skating center there in Springfield, and so he's in that building, and it's been totally renovated. And he has his mechanical engineering business, his consulting business up in the front, 1/3 of it basically, and then the back part of it has been renovated for small business space. He houses Gateway STEM is there at his location.
I was going to say, because I
Yeah.
knew Gateway was out there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was all you guys there. I didn't know y'all.
Yeah, Casa
Yeah.
has a couple of offices, and
I
then
had no idea.
yeah, and
that y'all
then
owned
there's a
that. Okay.
bookkeeping service that's in there, and so there's several things that lease space from him. And then in the very back half, he's kind of got like a batting cage type, not a batting cage. I shouldn't say that. He'll get on to me. It's more like a pitching, kind of like where people could come if they have a team and the weather's not good or something like that, and they wanted to come and get some baseball practice in a little bit. So he's got a little area for that, really set up for pitchers and catchers to work.
Okay.
And that kind of thing. So he's got a
How
lot. Yeah, he's
fun.
got a lot going on over there. But
That's really cool. And my son, the one that is the engineer that works down in Alabama, he's into aerospace and all that. So he's been to Gateway Sim. He loves that
Yeah.
place.
so his
He
business-
loves that place.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They've got
Yeah.
a lot of things from NASA, simulators
Yeah.
and things. So his business is called 6D Engineering, is
Okay.
what it's called. But yeah, he has a lot of people out there in his space that
Yeah,
are
for sure.
that are
How
using
cool.
It, so
And so, how can everybody get in touch with y'all? If anything we have said, you need some more information, what's the best way to contact y'all?
So we're on Facebook. Robco Retreat
Uh-huh.
is the Facebook page, and you can send a message. We actually have a website as well, www.robcoretreat.com. And so if you can just get Robco Retreat in your search, then we should,
You should pop up.
we should pop up. So we have a website, and the people can email me, Tracy at robcoretreat.com, and yeah, we're looking forward to really serving a lot of people, and even having maybe like mission teams come out if they need to have a workshop before they go on their trip. Things like
Everything like that.
there are all sorts of options, and I've been having a lot of fun trying to help people come up with reasons or whatever
Yeah.
whatever their business is, trying to help them think of, oh well, you could have a retreat. Like I've even talked to some of the antique stores, and this is something they say I've never heard of that, but I thought you could have an antiquing retreat.
Yeah, you could.
Somebody could, set that up, host it, be in charge of it, and then people come. They probably want to come in their, SUVs or their vans or whatever, but come to the place, and then they go out to all of these antique stores in the area, because we've got a lot
got
of
a bunch,
antique stores that people would love to come and shop and get all their little treasures in their car and come back and spend the night, get refreshed, and go out again the next day. I
Yeah.
think that would be a really neat
I do too.
possibility. Some of you antiquers out there, you might
Mhm.
want to think about hosting an antique retreat. So I haven't heard of that. I think that's an original,
Yeah.
you
I think it's cute. Yeah.
I think it would be a really cool idea. There may be somebody somewhere doing it, but I've never heard of anybody doing it. So
And I've got several things that I'm working on ministry things I'm working on that are writing and presentations and things like that. And I might even try to set something up, to do a small, just deep dive spiritual retreat or something like that. And maybe even for couples, something to that degree to kind of, because and I don't know, and not a really couples retreat, but I mean, it's stuff, the stuff that I study and write about, which is, it's like very Jewish driven, it's all the original context and all that. I love it. Tracy, are we missing anything?
No, I can talk all day. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we've got another guest. I can too. And but we've got. I don't have Brian Pooley gave up his time slot for me today because I had a couple of folks I wanted to visit with today. Thank you, Brian. Usually we have a United Way coming in at 7:30, but today we have Mr. Jim Reynolds is going to be coming in here and talking to us about a country show that they've got coming up tomorrow night.
Oh wow!
And that's why I wanted to see if I could get Brian to let me have his time slot because time was of the essence for Jim. But again, this Robco retreat is ready to go. We are out of time, Tracy. So just one more time, tell them how to find you. And anytime you want to come on, just reach out.
Okay.
You got my number, right? You have my phone number, don't you?
I think so.
Okay. If you don't, get it from Muriel.
Okay.
She'll give it to you.
I
And but I would love to have you on anytime. And like I said, I'm interested in possibly doing something out there with you. I don't know how soon, but I think it's a great option. So tell them again how to find you.
So www.robcoretreat.com. That's our website. You can find us on Facebook, Robco Retreat, and send me a message. If somebody wants to reach out and comment, I'm happy to share my phone number. I may not speak it over the air right now.
Sure, you're fine. No, I got you.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm happy to talk to people on the phone. It's easier sometimes to answer more detailed questions in a phone conversation. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to do that. Just reach out to us, and we would love to, bless you with this space, and the county hopefully will benefit from some added tourism from people coming in from other areas
I
as
think
well.
So sounds great.
Yeah.
I love you,
We're
friend.
super excited about it. Love you
Tracy
too.
Dever, Robco Retreat, and then her husband's business again one more time. What's the name?
It's 6D Engineering.
All right. I love it. Thank you, guys.
Right.
Thank you so much. Love you,
LaVern.
friend.
Thanks.
And as she makes her way out, I'm going to go ahead and talk about our sponsor, Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. And as you go out, you can tell Jim to come on in. So, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. And we're going to, again, just continue talking about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. She was talking about being up near Cross Plains. Well, they're Cross Plainians. They've been there for about 30 years. They are locals. Come on in and sit right where she was sitting there for me, Jim. But they've been there for a long time. They are locals. They specialize in Robertson County properties because this is home, just like me. They're transplants to the community, but we've been here longer than anywhere. And they're originally from Kentucky, though. So while they specialize in Robertson County properties, they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. The surrounding counties, because they've worked all over. Barry was a vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years up in Nashville. So he has been all over. He works all over. He still does a lot of that kind of thing. He did he produces the video that you'll see at the Legacy Dinner coming up for our wonderful friends over at Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. So you'll get to see his work there. You'll find that they are just so knowledgeable about everything going on in the real estate community, whether you're buying, selling, whatever it is that you have going on, they can help you out. Rebecca, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. If you have some issues, maybe you're wanting to downsize and you've had family property and the kids have moved away and you don't really know what to do, she can help you with that and understand the nuances of selling property and when you're in your senior years and or moving and trying to reorganize all that. If you want to reach out to them, I absolutely highly recommend it. They are again Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. You can get them at sellwithbecky.com, or by BUYRobertsonCounty.com. And please always, when you talk to them, thank them for sponsoring One Street Over and let them know U-Turn sent you. For giving up his time slot for United Way today. We'll check back in with them next week. But we had a subject that's time is of the essence because you've got a special thing coming up tomorrow night. This is Jim Reynolds, and he is with the Southern Gospel Group, Jordan Shore.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm having a bad hair day, but I think I'm going to be all
you're
right.
Funny. You're funny. So you guys have got this show coming up.
We do.
And it is tomorrow night. And I'm so glad that Lee Marie brought this to my attention because sometimes these great things happen and I miss them. So you're going to be at the Red River Assembly of God?
That's correct.
Okay. Where is that located?
It's located on 1033 Bradley Drive.
Okay.
Just outside of Springfield city limits over there next door to not far from Electrolux.
Okay.
Easy to
okay.
find.
Yeah. And so Ronnie Henson is the he's the main act, and you are with him, or how's that work? Because I mean,
this time around, we're opening up for Ronnie.
You're opening up for Ronnie.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan Shore will be first on the ticket, and then Ronnie Henson will be coming up. All right, and so tell everybody how they can be a part of this.
Okay, all you have to do is just attend at 1033 Bradley Drive on Red River Assembly of God. Ronnie Henson, of course, is the gentleman who wrote The Lighthouse, and his family's been around for many years. Great songwriter, great vocalist, Kenny Henson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A long history of Southern gospel music, and we're looking forward to being with him. And a love offering will be taken, of course. This is sponsored by by Brother Sam Corley and the Worldwide Evangelistic Fellowship on Main Street. And he had called Ronnie, and Ronnie was available. I had a chance to speak with him. I've known Ronnie for many years in several concert venues. It's been going on throughout the years. I've been in Southern gospel music for so long. But I know we're looking forward to it. We're with Chapel Valley Records, of course, radio singles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we have a good time when we sing. I tell you what, it's not going to be a boring event. I can promise you that. So,
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I'm looking at your song list here. Now, these are not, are these originals that are on these albums?
Are.
Okay, cool.
They are, yeah.
Awesome.
We write a lot of our music.
Okay, that's awesome.
And, of course, everybody pitches stuff to us as well.
Oh, sure.
We could record 30 albums a year, I promise you, with the music that people pitch.
Really?
Oh, that we
Isn't that
write.
amazing? That's just something that is a gift I do not possess is writing music. And I'm a writer, but I write, I write. I've got like a book and a novel. I can do novels, things like that, and blogs and ministry material. But I can't write music, and I always wish I could.
Can you sing it?
Oh yeah, I sing. I mean, everybody sings. Are you kidding me? Everybody sings. It's Nashville, honey. Everybody plays. Everybody sings. That's a hook from the. That's one of the best song hooks ever. It's Nashville. Everybody plays. Everybody sings. I don't play well, but I do dabble with instruments. But I sing. I grew up singing. I'm a Church of Christ too.
Oh,
so we're harmony.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, honey, we harmonize.
I love hearing the a cappella music.
If you haven't been to a CFC and heard the harmony of the a cappella music, that's what we're known for, I know. And it's breathtaking. It really is. It's beautiful. And I love contemporary music. I love all music. And so I love it all. But there's something about being in. I'm at Madison Church of Christ.
Okay.
And have you ever been in that auditorium?
We performed there one night. They called us and asked us if we would come and do a venue.
Fun. And
they said, no, we do not have music. So we did our whole program, our whole concert a cappella. And man, did we have a great time.
Well, and that, if people don't realize, the auditorium at Madison Church of Christ was designed from the same design of the Ryman Auditorium.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the acoustics in there are absolutely fabulous.
It's easy to sing.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet in there. So if you've, but nonetheless, but yes, I sing. Yeah. And it's just part of you. If you're, if you grew up, especially this, I have bluegrass and all that kind of stuff, but I love it, and I look forward to listening to you guys.
Awesome.
Oh, and Lee Marie is sending me questions. She wants me to remind everybody you used to work here.
I did.
So tell us about that. Not WSGI, but WDBL.
I did a little WDBL, but I did mostly WSGI.
Oh, you were? Okay, I thought you were DBL. Okay.
Yeah, I had the morning slot. I was there from 10 to 2.
Okay.
And man, was it
that's a long slot.
Yeah. I had a huge listenership. I enjoyed the music. We mixed all the music together.
Sure.
I played gospel, pop,
fun,
country, rock.
Just anything and everything.
I also sold the radio advertisement too, so I sold my own program. But it was great. Yeah.
What time period was that? What do you remember the years?
God, that was about 30 pounds ago, I believe.
What was it? I'm assuming, was it in the 1900s?
It was, yeah, yeah.
You
I
know.
think it was. Gosh, I guess that was 20 years ago, maybe.
Oh, it's more than 20 because it's
I
24.
guess so.
So if you were in the 1900s, it's at least 25 years ago.
Well, unfortunately, I was there when the 9/11
Oh, wow. So
situation
you were
took
there.
place.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
So
did
yeah.
play by
So
play
you
of
were
it.
there at the turn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because because I mean, that was in 2001, right?
Wow.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The 9/11 was 2001, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. But yeah. Okay. Well, see, I was not really familiar with what the content of the shows were back then because
Hmm.
I was working in Nashville because
Right.
I started in Nashville on WLAC in 1984.
Hmm.
You know, I tell my kids that at school and they just like, what? You're so old. And I'm like,
I-
I know.
When I first started, it was all country.
Okay.
And then it was under a new ownership. And I told the owner, I said, I'd like to do a little versatile music,
Yeah.
mix it up a little bit so people can.
Kind of a Jack FM feel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jack FM, if you're not familiar with this, like whatever. Let's just what's a format? Let's just play what we like.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of what Jack's known for, Jack FM. So so it's kind of that kind of feel.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. I love it.
It was
That's
so
fun.
fun. I miss
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah, I love that I get to keep my toe in the water here, and again, I thank Ilyu and Ebenezer Broadcasting all the time for letting me come, still playing the radio sandbox. It's fun.
The closest
So-
I get to radio anymore is when we're doing radio interviews
Yeah,
on the road.
Yeah.
And but I still enjoy it.
Oh,
I
it's
really
fun.
do.
It's
Yeah.
fun. There's nothing like it.
Well, yeah.
But well, very cool. So cool. So former disc jockey here. I love it. And now, so do you work with your vocal group full time, or what else do you do?
We do about 125,
Wow.
130 dates a year. I'm the owner of the group, of course,
Okay.
and Angie, of course, you can see in the picture here. There's Angie and there's Eric as well, and we go out most weekends, and sometimes we'll do local events around here as
Sure.
well. We don't travel. We don't sing around here much.
Okay.
Of course, everybody sings around here.
I know
so-
everybody. Like I said, everybody plays, everybody sings.
so
Tell
this-
Lee Marie's asking. She wants to know: do you have any fun radio memories from here? Like, is there like something that just stands out? As like this happened, like anything special that just jumps out at you? Is like, oh, I'll never forget when. What you mentioned, the 9/11 thing. So you were on the air when it happened.
That was the most
See,
memorable
yeah.
event.
Yeah, I was on the air when that happened, but of
Yeah.
course at WLAC. But did y'all go off the air like we did
No.
and go to? Because we basically. Well, I was live on the air with. It was 101 The One at the time, but now it's The Beat. But it was a Christian radio station. So
Right.
Matt Stockman and I, we were interviewing the Katinas. And I was watching the television monitors, and I was like, because I saw it fly into the building. And I told him, I said, guys, I said, there's something wrong. And Matt goes, well, let's go to commercial. And then we didn't come back on for about a week.
I thought that was.
Yeah.
I thought it was a hoax. I thought it was
Yeah.
something that was made up.
Yeah.
know.
You thought, this can't be happening.
And then when I actually
Yeah.
came into the radio station,
Yeah.
The owner said, "This is a real event.
Wow.
and we need to cover."
So you had to
this."
cover this live. Wow.
did,
'Cause
yeah.
see, that's the thing. With us having a network affiliate, we went to the network news, and I think we were off the air for about a week. I mean, not off the air, but it was a network situation
Right.
where we didn't do any local programming for. It was at least 4 or 5 days
Right.
before we came back on. It was just such a very weird time to take and be on a microphone talking to people
Right.
because what do you say? And I just remember that. And, that's probably one of the most, if you're a broadcaster and you were broadcasting at that time, that's something you'll never forget.
I had
You'll
all
never forget.
the radio. I mean, the schools.
Yeah.
And everybody was tuned in,
Sure.
listening.
Yeah.
Listening to the music. I believe the classes just stopped.
Oh, yes.
Pay
Yeah.
attention to what was going on.
Yeah.
Not only did they have the radio on, they had the television on as
Yeah.
well. So I was able to the studio. I could look at the TV
Right.
here, and I could do the play-by-play. And when that second plane went into the building,
Yeah.
that's when everybody's world just totally
Yeah.
collapsed,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's what I witnessed live on the air, because when, as a traffic reporter, I would always monitor the news. I would always monitor the local news, and it'd be like I'd be on Channel 5, and then they would jump over to their network affiliate. And so I was watching, and like I said, Channel 5 was kind of always my go-to. And I was watching, and there was, it was not unusual for something weird to happen in New York, like a tour plane or something like that hit one of the buildings.
even today.
Yeah, exactly. and it happened more than once during my tenure as a traffic reporter. We're like, oh, a tour helicopter has hit a building and they've got a fire in New York. And we might mention it just as a news interest story, but that would be it. That's what we thought was happening, because we saw smoke coming from one of the towers. And I was like, something's hit one of the towers.
Yeah.
And that's why I told Matt and the others, because I mean, we were also doing live with the river and different ones, like, so we were live on several, but that was the one that I happened to be on when it happened. And we had our microphones open live on the air when I saw that second plane fly in. And that's, like I said, then we switched over to network, and they were like, and I went, you were talking about the schools, I went to, because my kids were at Good Pasture, and I came walking into the building, and I remember as a media person, everybody was like looking to me for answers. And I was just like, I didn't know what to tell. I was just wanting to be with my kids, because my kids were little.
Right.
So, but yeah. So there you go, Lee Marie. For a broadcaster, if you were on the air during 9/11, there's nothing bigger than that.
I enjoyed doing the radio advertisement. I love doing the remotes, the live
Oh,
remotes
yes.
and all that stuff. You get out there and get with the people
Yeah.
and everything. I really enjoyed that. So I have some good fond memories.
We'd had some plans to do a radio remote here. I don't know if ILU's going to revive that or not. We had it scheduled, and a storm came through, and we couldn't do it.
Right.
And we were going to do like a, with his congregation, Ebenezer Church, they were going to have a tent revival kind of thing, and we were going to broadcast from there. And that we had terrible storms that day, and we had to cancel it. So that would be fun to do that. He goes, would you be up for doing that? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Live radio, heck yeah, from a remote. We used to do that all the time.
We love doing tent revivals and stuff. We got a lot of them coming up.
Okay,
in
cool.
the near future, and it's going to be great. Some of them are a week long, some of them are 3 days. You know, Sam Corley, the sponsor of this concert, he does a lot of tent revivals.
Cool.
For the Worldwide Evangelistic Fellowship Church. So, we'll keep you up to date on what's going on with all that.
That'd be fun.
I wish you could come tomorrow night. I hope you can come tomorrow night.
I don't think I can tomorrow night. I've already got stuff on my calendar, but thank you for the invite. And
I'll still talk about you.
There you go. Lee Marie's always inviting me to stuff. I have 4 grandkids that are not here. And so we're just running all the time going to see my grandbabies.
Right.
It's just what grandparents do. I had no idea. I'm telling you, those kids can be, painting a picture, and I want to go watch. It's just something about those grandbabies. Everything they do, it's just like, oh, let me go look.
I've got 3 grandsons.
So
and,
yeah. And we've got I've got my they all like sports, of the ones that are older that are in Mount Juliet, but one of them, it just can, everything he plays he's really good at, and so he's just that kind of athlete, so it's going to be, we're going to be baseball, and we just finished basketball, and we got baseball starting up, and all this kind of stuff. So there's just something all the time with the grands.
Well, you're not too proud, are you? I can tell.
Are you kidding me? I can brag on my grandkids, and I get started on my boys. I have 4 boys, and so I'll brag on them too. I have an old friend of mine. Yes, Jim Hicks. But anyway, I have an old friend of mine that we were talking the other day, and we were trying to get, or Jack Hicks. I knew I said the wrong name. I haven't seen him since the 80s. But anyway, Jack Hicks, he is a sound engineer for the Nationals, the baseball team out of Washington, D.C.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so we connected the other day and started talking, and it was so funny how quickly we turned to bragging on our children.
Don't take much.
Yeah, it's just it. It's like, we were like, yeah, and this one's doing that, and this one's doing that. It doesn't take much at all. You start bragging on those kiddos. But, okay, so let's get back. Lee Marie will be like, Vern, stay on topic.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking with Jim Reynolds. He is with the gospel group Jordan Shores. Jordan Shore, and y'all have got 2 albums I see right here. Are
brought
these
2 in.
You got
We have-
2. How many do you have? How many
We have
albums?
6 total,
Oh wow.
and a video that'll give you something to laugh at.
There you go.
I promise you.
Who comprises your group?
You have.
Are you
Eric,
relatives or
no.
Okay.
No, we're not related. But
Okay.
we may as well be. We spend as much time together.
Yeah,
You know.
when you see groups like this, you kind of assume it's like a sibling group, or, you know, a lot of the times.
Well,
So that's
that was-
interesting.
that
Okay.
was back in the earlier years, I had a
I
sibling
got you.
group.
Yeah.
We do Dollywood, Biblical Times Theater. We do a lot of venues across the
Fun.
country. Oh yeah, little TV work.
That's great.
Yeah, we just have a good time, and it grew so fast.
Yeah.
You know, but you've got to work at it. I promise you that. You got promoters, you got labels, you got radio singles, you got videos. You're attending special functions all the time.
Sure.
Heck, we'll do a backyard barbecue. It doesn't matter to us.
Yeah.
You book us and we'll come. You know.
That is so cool. But now, how did you guys get together then? So you've got this. How did the trio get together? What's the story on that?
It actually started with Roger
Okay.
and myself, and Roger sang with the Naomi and the Seagulls, and I worked with Eric Henson and a lot of groups over the
Okay.
years. Ed Hill, Donnie Sumner, and all those guys, those who know the Stamps. And
Mm-hmm.
but I met Roger, and he said, "I sure would love to start a group." And I said, "Well, let's do it." And our very first concert was on stage at the National Quartet Convention, and
Oh, okay.
in Louisville, Kentucky, when
Awesome.
it was there. Yeah.
Awesome.
And we've been hitting it ever since.
Okay.
Of course, we've gone through several vocalists through the years, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, we've been going strong. And of course, you have challenges, you know,
Mm-hmm.
buses break down, et cetera, you know. But you always manage to get to the concerts and have a great time. Our concerts are very energetic, nothing lazy about them. When we go, we go. And
I love it.
we want people to be blessed. We want people to be saved. We want people to be healed. We just want to have a great time. And we don't stand up there. We actually sing. You know, we don't try to look pretty. Of course,
Yeah.
for those watching, you can tell I don't try to look pretty.
Listen to you.
But anyway.
You're funny. I guess there's a little bit of humor that goes into it too. Y'all do a little joking around.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
the MC.
sounds like you must.
Yeah.
So I love it.
We do. If people come tomorrow night, I guarantee you they'll laugh. They'll cry tears of joy. And,
They'll have fun.
oh, yeah, absolutely. To say the
How
least.
long will the event? So it starts at what time, and then what time usually? How long of an event is
Starts
this?
at 7. The doors will open at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And let's see, we will, Brother Buddy, of course, well, it's the itinerary. You come, you'll see, and it'll just be great. It'll probably last until we're looking
Sure,
at
you
around
done?
9,
Sure, you
9:30.
done?
Yeah. Yeah, the spirit may fall, and we may be there till 12 in the morning.
I know.
You know?
Yeah, I know events like that. You just
Oh,
you just
yeah.
keep going.
Oh yeah, it'll probably last about 9:30.
I got you.
Like
Will
that.
there be snacks?
Oh yeah, no, there'll be candy on our table, on our product
Okay.
table.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So, because church events almost always have something kind of food involved. So you gotta, it's like, so are there snacks involved?
Yeah.
But anything like that. But it sounds like a wonderful day. And so you are opening for Ronnie Henson, the Jordan Shore,
Right.
and Ronnie Henson tomorrow at the Red River Assembly of God at 1033 Bradley Drive here in Springfield. They do, a lot of these events, they have a love offering. That's how they pay the talent.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes in, and that is a great way to make it work, because that way, if you don't have to be like, well, I can't really afford to go, you can afford what you can afford.
Well, they played
You
around
know.
with the ticket, and the person that's sponsoring this, Brother Sam, said, "Well, you think we should sell tickets?" I said, "Well, let's just do it love offering style."
Yeah,
this time.
I think that works better, because otherwise, because that can shut some people out.
Oh yeah,
And then some that are blessed that can, pay for somebody else's ticket, and they never even think about that.
that's right.
Because you got a lot of really generous people out there,
Oh, yeah.
and if they know, they
There's
know.
people who will take you out to eat
Yeah,
and hang with you,
yeah.
and get to know you just a little bit better.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
You
And,
better believe it.
The first
So-
person that comes in, by the way,
Oh, okay.
that says they heard it here.
Okay.
On WSGI, I'm going to buy them a meal at Whataburger. Okay.
Okay. Whataburger meal. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. We all love our Whataburger.
We love Whataburger.
But, I just, and you traveling the country, that's how you knew about it before you came here. I learned about it when I was down in Texas for a couple of years.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Oh yeah. It was a big deal, boy. And now they say we're getting In-N-Out Burger. Oh, that's there's one coming to I think Mount Juliet, Lebanon first. I'm
cool.
not sure, but so yeah, you'll be seeing that pretty soon. We're getting off track. I know.
Yeah.
What else are we missing here? What else you want to cover in your time slot? We got a little bit of time left here. What do you
time
want people to
flies
know?
by when you're having
We're
fun.
done at 8. We'll be finished up here in about 6 minutes. And again, this is just a great event for tomorrow night. I hope you can come out and join them at the Red River Assembly of God.
Yeah.
Jordan Shore and Ronnie Henson will be performing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's at 1033 Bradley Drive. But do you have a favorite? Like I said, this music's original.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any cut that you would say is a favorite, or is that like picking a favorite child?
We do all good music. We don't do
Yeah.
it's got to have a message to it.
Right.
It's got to be catchy. We like to do songs where people can put it in their player or put it in their USB and just listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're punching a button and sorting through it, with this particular album right here, it will just play. You can just play it. Second Birth is our favorite song. And
The song Second Birth.
yeah.
Okay, what's it about? What's the theme?
Well,
What's the story?
well,
I'm of course I know, but Second Birth. But it's like you're from the
the story
your
just
new-
tells of the fact, when you were born, you don't remember that.
right.
But
Okay.
when you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior,
Yeah.
you're automatically going to remember that and never forget it.
In that new birth. Yeah.
The new
So-
touch. Yeah.
That's interesting.
But that's a great song. We can give that CD away sometime if you want to give it away, and I
Okay.
can bring you some stuff by.
Okay.
would
Well,
be a
and
problem.
it's a little hard getting it to people because I'm not here during the day. So it'd probably be better is maybe if you heard about it, not only will give you a Whataburger, he'll have an album for you.
Sure.
Do that, and
I'll do
then
that.
and then for the second person, you can give the other one away if you want to do that.
Sure.
If you want to do that.
Yeah, my
So, 'cause
accountant
it's just-
says I can do that.
With us not being, with me being at school, it's just a little hard for me to connect and make sure that happens. And so, because this facility, we have a lot of pre-recorded stuff that goes out. So, Ilya will get me. He goes, LaVern, I don't know if I'm going to be there. And
We also have a hymns project too. We can.
what is a hymns project?
Yeah, it's got
Just
all
good
kinds
classic
of good
hymns.
Stuff. Yeah, a lot of people love how great they are.
Oh yes.
Feel like traveling on.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Sure.
there's a couple of songs on there that I wrote, of course, but the hymns, we cannot keep hymns on the table. People
Yeah.
will buy that before they will anything else.
Because they can sing along with those.
Sure.
That's the ones that I have the I've sing with the Epiphany band that's at Celebrate Recovery on Tuesday nights, and they are amazing. The We Imperfect Few, they write some original music,
Sure.
and that's whenever they bring in an original, and I'm trying to learn it, it's a little bit hard for me because but whenever they have those ones I hear on the radio all the time, those are my favorite. But I love their music too. But it's just it takes more time for me to learn it.
Sure.
And so people are the same way when they pop an album in, they'll learn the ones that they connect to, but there's nothing like just some, how great they are and those kinds of things.
He touched me.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
you'll hear you may hear some songs like that tomorrow night as well.
okay.
So we
Some
like
of
to
the,
have
hymn-
the audience
hymns
sing
and stuff.
along.
Sure.
And that's always a good thing to do.
Very good.
It's a
Very
personal
good.
Note,
Awesome.
So.
Jim Reynolds, guys, if you have any questions, what's the best way to contact you if, say, they want to book Jordan Shore?
They can call me personally.
Okay, you can give the number twice. That's
that's
how we
gonna
do it on radio,
Oh, and that's going to save you a little bit because if you go through our promoter, it'll be a different situation altogether. You know
I got
that.
you. Yeah, I get you.
615-571-1723. That's 615-571-1723. You can pull up our YouTube concerts and you can watch that. We have all types of videos, of course, that you can watch and sing along with.
Oh,
and
fun.
get to know us a little bit. You can visit our store and buy CDs and T-shirts and coasters, and we got all kinds of stuff on there. If you go to jordanshore.com.
Well, and Lee Marie on the WSGI page, and Lee Marie, if you can put these links on because I share both the radio page and I share it on my page, but it doesn't transfer to my page from the. So just if you can put those on the links for how they can find them on the posting that is on my page, that would be great. But she has said she has been to Biblical Times, the theater, and says it's just excellent. I have not, so I need to go and check that out. But she also has put the link on here for the Facebook event for
Okay.
tomorrow night.
That is
So
awesome.
thank you, Lee Marie. And she'll put those, I'm sure, on my page as well, so you can find it. But you can find that on the WSGI Facebook page. And she said she had one really good question. I thought right before we wrap up here, we've got just a minute. Who inspired you to do this? Who inspired you to get involved with the music? Was there an artist or something like that?
I actually sang with my family.
Okay.
I was 7 years old,
Oh, wow.
and Dad gathered us around the piano, the old
Yep.
cliche.
Yep.
And he taught everybody harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I knew harmony automatically. My dad said, "I'm going to teach you harmony." I said, "Dad, I already know it."
Yeah.
He said, "I'll do you, big shot." So I did. And
Yeah.
the first concert I ever did was on New Year's Eve. 53 years, 57
Yeah.
years now.
Wow.
I've been singing. And I found a spot. He said, "Look at a spot on the wall and you'll be just fine."
Yeah. So you don't
I've
get
been looking at a
nervous.
spot ever since. So
How funny.
there you go.
That was the advice, so you didn't get nervous, huh? Look
No.
at the spot on the wall.
Yeah, everybody gets a little nervous at the beginning. I don't
Yeah.
care who you are. Ben Spear told me that.
Well, I have too. People think I've had times now when I was younger, not so much as when I got older and kind of stepped away from public events and stuff. And then when I started getting back out there, I was like, yeah, nerves are just natural.
When you get that first song out of the way,
Yeah.
you're doing great. I mean, the spirit moves and you're just ready to go.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true. That's true. I love it. It's so nice to meet you, Jim.
You too.
God bless you. And y'all trying to make this event tomorrow night. Red River Assembly of God's where it'll be 7:00. And this again is Jordan Shore with Ronnie Henson. They're at 1033 Bradley Drive. Love offering will be taken, and it's sponsored by Sam Corley and the Worldwide Evangelistic Fellowship. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you.
And
I
be sure and
enjoyed it.
tell him you heard about it on WSGI, and he'll treat you to Whataburger and an album. Be sure and check it out.
How
Awesome.
about that?
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining us for
you.
the show today. Tomorrow, Lisa Fort will be in from Redeem Her Now. Can't wait to talk to Lisa and catch back up with her. It seems like it's been forever. So be sure and join us tomorrow for Faith Friday. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful day. And watch out. Storms are coming in. It's going to be a little bit nasty out there today. So be safe. Be careful. Stay in if you can while it's moving through.